Oh, good evening, everybody. It's Tuesday night, and we are going to play some APBA Master Game. Going to try and get through Game 31 here tonight. Phillies replay. Last game, Game 30, was an interesting outcome. Some tense moments for myself with, you have Roy Halladay, one of the great pitchers that the Phillies had through that stretch there at the early teens, late 2000s. Anyway, sometimes with games you just have to accept that they do their best. They do the best they can, and they're very good representations, but sometimes they don't always go the way you expect. And so we just need to, move on, and we are. So Game 31. Let me turn this light up here just a little bit. I want to have a little more brightness here. Not in the camera so much, but for my own eyes. Atlanta comes into town now to face the Phillies, I believe, for another 3-game set. So we will see how that goes. Be the righty Derek Lowe pitching for Atlanta, kind of end of a career sort of thing going for him, and then Cliff Lee, who probably should have been in the midst of his career, but feels like in 2011, still in the middle of his career. But I don't think his longevity was not so great. So. But he is really good in this season, and so we'll see if he can overcome the Braves here. Braves, 16 wins, 17 losses, so there are a couple of games in hand over the Phillies. But the Phillies with a better record, matching them in wins, 16 wins, 14 losses, coming into this game. So let's get right on it here. So... Braves will. So we are using. This is an as-played replay, so we're using the exact lineups as fielded by the teams that day. So Phillies without Chase Utley up until end of May, early June, something like that. I haven't really looked to see the exact date, but they're rolling with a platoon of Pete Orr and Wilson Valdez, and in this game it'll be Orr who will get the start at second base. But for the Braves, we'll go through their lineup right now. Be Martin Prado in left field. He's going to lead off. Then it'll be Alex Gonzalez, shortstop. Chipper Jones, third base. Brian McCann behind the dish. Dan Ugla. He had a really good couple of years there with the Marlins, and he gets 36 homers in this season for Atlanta, so he'll be playing second for the Braves. Freddie Freeman, early career Freddie Freeman, he gets 21 in 2011. Joe Mather, a kind of a rare start for him in this season, one of the extra players, additional players, or whatever they call that. Nate McLouth in center. Mather in right. I should have said that. And Derek Lowe pitching. And they're facing Cliff Lee, the lefty. So, let's see. How can I do this? I know what I can do. Just give me a second here. I don't know how to bring that up. Would love to bring it up on my phone, but I don't know. I should be able to. I guess this will do. Just so I can, if anybody leaves a comment, I should see it now because it's on my phone there. But I have a little lineup helper on my other screen, and if you give me a second, I'll just show you what I have going on here. So this is my lineup helper, and so you can see here that we have quite a bit of the stats for all the players here as far as like the rankings and things. A little bit of a score bug here that I can do, and some of the common, especially for bases empty, common results, just try and help with the flow a little bit here. So bear with me, as this is master game, so it is a little bit more result heavy as far as like strange rolls. But Prado will be the first to face Cliff Lee here as we get this game underway. Game number 1 of this series, game 31 of the Phillies 2011 replay, and that's going to be a 63, which is a fly ball to center field. Shane Victorino, your center fielder there for the Phillies, he'll make the catch, 1 out. Defense for Philadelphia, it'll be Howard at first or second, Rollins short, third baseman will be Placido Polanco, and then left to right it will be Ibanez, Victorino, and Ben Francisco. Behind the plate, Brian Schneider, and on the mound, Cliff Lee. That brings up Alex Gonzalez with 1 out and nobody on. Another 63, that'll be a fly ball to right field. Underneath it is Francisco, and he makes the 2nd out. So a couple of 63s right in a row. And now Chipper Jones. I don't have my stat keeper up in front of me, or else I would tell you what some of the stats are. And there's a 64, and that is a strikeout. First strikeout for Cliff Lee. Side is retired. Actually, let's see something here. Yeah, that's correct. No other Ks there. Those are only for K-rated pitchers. So, 3 up, 3 down, and the Phillies will be coming to bat. And now for Philadelphia, home team. You got Jimmy Rollins at short leading off. Flying Hawaiian, Shane Victorino playing center field, and Placido Polanco at third. Cleanup hitters Ryan Howard, first base. Ben Francisco batting 5th and playing in right. Raul Ibanez, who has been a power hitter thus far in this season. He is ahead of schedule as far as dingers have gone. He's playing in left. Pete Orr, second base. Brian Schneider, the catcher that made his way quite a bit around the NL East, batting 8th. And Clifton Pfeiffer Lee, pitcher, rounds out the lineup. And so J-Roll going to lead off here. Bottom of the first, no score. And 24, that's a strikeout. Derek Lowe, no ratings for XYKZW, anything like that. So, and now Shane Victorino. 61 is going to be a 27. That'll be a grounder to third base, and that'll be Chipper Jones throwing to first in time to get the speedy Victorino. 2 down, and it will be Placido Polanco. 65 is going to be a 35. That will be another grounder to Jones, and Chipper gets Polanco by a couple steps, and another 1, 2, 3, half an inning, and we go straight to the second with no score. Hope everybody's having a good week so far. We're part the way through, almost to halfway. As I said, feel free to drop a comment. I'll check every half inning or so, maybe even in the middle of the inning if I get a little need a little break for a drink. But let's move right on to Brian McCann, catcher leading off the second. 44 is an 8. Now, Cliff Lee is 16, but so I'm going to just mention the split for McCann is 19. So 8 and 19, that gets converted from a hit to a fly ball to right field, and that'll be caught by Ben Francisco, 1 out. Just to clarify, so that's what this is here, is the split. So basically it takes each the hitters have a left and right adjustment, and then it gets either added or subtracted to the grade. Cliff Lee's grade over here is 16, and so McCann would be a -3, basically lefty against lefty. That's going to ding them. Someone like Alex Gonzalez, being a right-handed batter, is actually slightly better by 2 grades against right-handed batters. So, or against left-handed pitchers, excuse me. All right, Dan Uggla. Now somehow he's worse against left-handed. And let me see. Does that make sense? Uggla against lefties is -5. So, and a 0 against righties. So slightly better against righties in this season. But Uggla now, 35. That's a strikeout. Second strikeout for Lee, 2 away, and it brings up Freddie Freeman. Future MVP. Pretty sure he's an MVP. If he hasn't been, he ought to be. Pretty sure he is. 34 is going to be a fly ball to center field. Victorino back a little bit, but makes the catch. 1, 2, 3. The Braves are finished in the top of the second. Still 0-0. All right, so now we have Ryan Howard up bottom of the second. Facing Derek Lowe. 13 is going to be, that'll be a walk. 14 result. Pitches around the big guy a little bit, so it'll bring up Ben Francisco with Howard at first. And the pitch, 62, is going to be a strikeout. 1 away for Derek Lowe. Gets the better Francisco, second strikeout for him. Now Raul Ibanez. 34, fly ball to center field. In a bit will be Nate McLeod. Makes the catch. Retreating to first, Ryan Howard, 2 down. Pedor, light hitting Pedor. 66, that's going to be, let's see, we got a 6 here, and what's his number? Or is a split of 4. That'll be a double. Double over first, and potential decision here with Howard. Not the best runner. Got the bottom of the order, though. So, Pete Orr being a lefty, it would be a double over first, 52. And then we take the average of right field and second base. So right fielder is Mather, he's a 31. Second base is Uggla, who's a 30. So we'll just be, and because they're the away team, we'll take the lower of the 2. That'll be 30. Howard running is a 5, so that's 25. 52 minus 25, that's double check that. 25. So that's 27. right? 52, 42, 30, yeah, 27. So they're going to send Howard here. The throw's going to come to the plate. So what did we say it was? 27. So it's got to be 53 or less. And Howard will be in safe, and that'll be the first run of the game. And he is. And is there any... Let's see. We also have to check there are other charts here. But let's get him... We're going to get him home here on the score chart. We'll leave Pete Orr at second base. 1-0 Phillies. And let's see. This is probably the drop throw table that I need to go after. Let me just take a look here. Page 14. That's only for... Okay, I guess when you have a throw home... Oh, wait a second. To use the drop throws table, roll one die to determine which of the 6 columns. Alright, so we will do the drop throw. It looks like you do that for base advancement. So we need to roll a die. And let's see. Or is that the wild throw? I don't know. Let's see. Alright, I guess that's only if the runner is out, is you check that. So we don't have to worry about that. Orr is going to stay at second. That's 1-0 Phillies. Apologies for the delay there. There are wild throws, but usually that's involving I guess runner advancement to second and third. They don't really have one for the home chart from what I can tell. And they do have catcher's throws on steals being wild. But let's move on here to Brian Schneider with a runner at second and 2 outs. .36, that'll be 33. Let's just double check. That should be a pop out of some sort here. Pop to short, that'll be the end of the inning. So the Phillies get a run on a hit with 1 left. Again, anyone here checking this out live, feel free to chime in, say hi, give me some feedback, corrections, etc., etc. Dice box from Michigan and Trumbull. I've had it a long time, so just figured I would give a little shout out to them. Bought this a couple of years ago, and it's nice to have for Phillies games. Has a little bit of the Citizens Bank ambiance. So Joe Mather with a 0 roll with a 66 there. So he had 1 homer. Is he going to get the 1 homer here? 36 is going to be a double. Leadoff double, first hit of the game for the Braves. Nate McLeod. This could be a chance to bunt, but with Derek Lowe coming up. Now, Lowe isn't the worst batter in the world, I don't think. Let's see. I guess it doesn't give him. But go ahead and let McLeod hit here. Runner at second, nobody out. Get the chart going for second base. And the pitch, it's a 36. That's going to be another 33. Remember, that was a pop-up to short. Actually, I should check. Are there others for other outs? No, it's the same, and Lee isn't a K. So, all right, Low. Let's try to advance the runner here with a bunt with Low. Sacrifice 56, 13. That'll be 2 strikes. Misses 2 bunt attempts. We will re-roll. Gonna take the bunt off here. 32 is 26. And we will re-roll on second baseman Pete Orr, who's a 6-rated defender. 36 on a 6 is going to be a fielding 3. Out at first, runner to third. So the runner will advance on the 4-3. Prado will come to the plate with the runner 90 feet away and 2 down. See if Cliff Lee can get out of this little bit of a jam here. Martin Prado flew out to center field his first time up. 2 down, top of the third. 1-0 lead for the Phillies. 43 is going to be 29. That's going to be let's see. Let's see the pitcher. Cliff Lee is a 2-rated defender. And so that's going to be out at first. 1 to 3, put out, ends the inning. No runs, a hit, and they leave him stranded. Okay. Cliff Lee, the batter. 34, that'll be a fly ball out to center field. McLeod ranges over to get it, 1 out. Jimmy Rollins struck out first time up. That is a 0 roll on the 11. And then the re-roll. 36 is going to be a double. 1 out double. Going to go all the way to the wall. You can get it in. Hold him to 2 bases. Runner in scoring position, 1 out. It's going to bring up Shane Victorino. He's 0 for 1. 61. That'll be 27. 27 is the third baseman. That's going to be Chipper. He's a 4-rated third baseman. 52 on 4 is going to be 3. No Y rating, so that will be... he's going to have to charge that, and the runner will make it to third base. Rollins will get there on the 5-3. So 2 down. Brings up Placido Polanco. Can he get Rollins home? Infield back, obviously, with 2 outs. And it's 12. That'll be 25. We roll the second baseman. That's Ugla 40. Let's see. He's a 7 and a 45. That'll be right in the 2. That'll be a foul fly out. That ends the inning. Through 3, it's 1-0 Phillies. waste another chance to add on to their run total. And now it'll be Alex Gonzalez. Reverted back to bases empty on the scorebook, rule book, game book, whatever you want to call it. 43 is going to be a grounder. Actually, it's an X, so that'll be a strikeout. One down, that's the third strikeout for Cliff. Chipper Jones now, he struck out in the first. 34, he's going to pop it up, shallow center. In comes Victorino and makes it in plenty of time. 2 away. Brian McCann. 2 outs. 23 is going to be ground ball to Pete Orr. Plenty of time with the catcher running the bases, and that'll be the third out. 1-2-3 inning for Cliff Lee. Heading to the bottom of the fourth. It's still 1-0. Fighting Phillies. All right, second time in the game here. Ryan Howard leads off. He walked and scored first time up. And the pitch. 42. That's a 22, which is so that's in error territory. I'm gonna re-roll using my error randomization chart. So that's a 60. That's a shame that couldn't have been one before. But anyway, 66 is 23 actually, so that's back to the pitcher. Derek Lowe is a 2-rated defender. 44 is going to be an out. He makes the play. That's a great play by Lowe. Gets to it, flips just in time. 1 out. Ben Francisco, 34 fly ball center field. McLouth with the grab. 2 down. Raul Ibanez. 0 for 1. 35, that's a strikeout. That's the third K for Derek Lowe. And a 1-2-3 inning. It's a quick game here so far. Only the single run coming the home team's way. Keep telling you guys, don't be afraid to leave a comment. Got the live chat here. I have it on my phone. Staring me right in the face, kinda. Oh, I'm gonna make sure it's turned down. I'm gonna turn this on just in case there are. So feel free to live chat or not. It's up to you. It's going right there, so answer questions, say hi. I think during this I can multitask. I'm not a great multitasker in life, but anyway, Ugla up here, top of the 5th. And that's a strikeout. Another strikeout for Lee. That is 4. 1 out. Brings up Freddie Freeman. 0 for 1. That's a 44, which is 7. And that will lead to a single. Second hit of the game for the Braves. Gets a runner on base. Freddie is an E20, so I don't know. 2 outs at the very least is the only time he would be able to run in this game. So Joe Mather now. He doubled his first time up. 14, that's a fly ball to left. Raul Ibanez heads toward the line, and he has plenty of room and grabs it. 2 outs. Nate McLouth. So, hi, Mark Russell. Good to see you. we have to add 2. So if we wanted to try, so the reason that we add we add 3. Schneider's a -4 arm. Hold factor for Lee is 1, so you take the sum of those, which is -3, and subtract the number. So if you take E20 for Freeman and you subtract -3, that actually adds 3, so that makes it an E. So that makes it 23, which would basically be an 11 to 45 roll. And with McLouth, I think we will just not try and steal here. It's not a bad moment to try it here, but although I guess if he steals and it gets caught, then you would lead off the inning with McLouth instead of Derek Lowe. So let's try stealing. So the number is 23, which is going to be 45 is the upper number. Anything 45 or less, and it's 36. He gets in there with the steal. And now we need to check to see if there is a wild throw. So Schneider is an 8, and 15 no wild throw, but Freeman will go to second on the steal. And now McLouth continues his at bat with Freeman at second. 25 is a 9. Ooh boy. Depends on that split number for McLouth, whether he is in range or not. McLouth is 24 on the split, so that would mean that McLouth is a -8. And he is. I just checked the chart, so -8. So that goes to a fly ball to center field, and that'll be caught. That will end the inning. So Cliff Lee's pitching grade helps him immensely there, because that could have been a tie ball game. Instead, no runs on a hit and 1 left. So bottom of the 5th, bottom 3 in the order for the Fightins here. Pete Orr leads off. 16 is going to be 28. That will be grounder to shortstop. Alex Gonzalez, one quick motion gets Pete Orr 1 out. Or a pretty fast runner, needed to make a good play there to get him, and he got him. So Brian Schneider, 14 fly ball to left field, weakly hit. It's going to be caught out there by Prado. And it's going to bring up Cliff Lee. 2 outs. That's going to be a grounder to second base. Weak grounder to Ugla. 1, 2, 3. Go the Phils. We're through 5. 1-0. Pitching affair here. Derek Lowe in this season with a 5.05 ERA. So there's some runs there for the Phils. They just got to hit the right combos. But it's going to be Derek Lowe. He's going to lead off here at the top of the 6th. Pitching a pretty decent game so far. He's going to strike out here on the 42. That's a 13. 5 Ks for Cliff Lee. Martin Prado 0 for 2. That's going to be a 24, which will be a grounder to shortstop. Rollins, automatic. And that's 2 outs. Throws to first. Alex Gonzalez. Can get some power for him, but this time that's going to be a strikeout. 6 sat down by Cliff Lee. No runs. No hits, no errors. Moving right along here, bottom of the 6th. Derek Lowe back out to pitch. It's going to be top of the order. Facing Jimmy Rollins, he's 1 for 2. He doubled his last time up. That'll be a fly ball to right field. Joe Mather with the play, 1 out. Shane Victorino, 1 for 6 here in the top 3 of the order. And that's going to be a strikeout. That's 4 strikeouts for Lowe. Now that brings up Placido Polanco. That'll be a 2-out walk. First time he's been on base brings up Ryan Howard. A little too early to be thinking about maybe the bullpen here, but let's see, 35 is, that's back-to-back walks. No letters for Lowe, so 2 outs, 2 on. Now we probably ought to be thinking about some bullpen action here for the Braves. They're going to see, for Ibanez, they're going to have the lefty. Let's see, I don't have the ratings written on. Venters is probably pretty good. You got O'Flaherty. He looks really good too. So you got a couple of options. And let's see, Sherrill, a little less, but let's get Linebrink and Sherrill warming up here. They're going to go to the mound. Give them a chance to talk about the strategy. Give Sherrill and Linebrink a chance to get loosened up there. It'll be Ben Francisco, first and second, 2 away. Cliff Lee. Excuse me, Derek Lowe. Can he pitch around this? My bad. I saw Cliff Lee in the batting order for this, and that's a 26. That'll be a grounder to, let's see. It's going to be a grounder to first base, and let's go ahead and use the actual roll. First base is Freeman. He's a 4.32, so that'll be in the 1 column. That's going to be a 3U. That'll end the inning. Just trying to get it right based on what the results are. So Francisco cannot deliver there. No hits, 2 left on. And it's going to be top of the 7th here. 1-0. Very bare bones kind of game. See, we had Bastardo pitch the last game and get the save, so Madsen will be available this game. We're not getting anybody up just yet. Cliff has been quite solid here. 2 hits allowed, but he got the meat of the order here. Chipper Jones, the first to face him. 42 is going to be strikes him out. It's at 7 strikeouts, 2 against Chipper, 1 away. Got to put it back. The base is empty. Again, I'm willing to chat you guys up if you guys want to throw anything down here as far as questions or howdies or whatever. Brian McCann, this is a guy who can put a pop into it. 56, that's another strikeout. That's 8. Cliff Lee just getting better as the game goes on. And now Dan Ugla. Excuse me, another. There's a lot of power through here, but that's 24. Strikes out the side. 13's around. 7th inning stretch. What a game here by Cliff Lee. 9 strikeouts. Phillies not generating much offense, but so far that's all they've needed is the 1 run the RBI double from Pete Orr that has put them in the lead as we hit the bottom of the 7th. With Ibanez coming up, the Braves will look to their bullpen. They're going to bring in George Sherrill. I believe Pete Orr is also a lefty, so kind of a good time to go to. So 6 innings pitched for Lowe. I think he only gave up 2 hits as well. But what do we have? 3 walks. 3 walks, 4 Ks. Only the 1 earned run. Didn't hit any batters. So Sherrill. He's graded 13. He has XY. Gonna try and keep this a 1-0 game and see if his teammates can pull him up here. So Lowe out of the game. Raul Ibanez. He's got a split of 21 here against. Oh, maybe I should put it back to the other view. Here we go. So Ibanez facing Sherrill, 25 is a 9, but look at that grade. That's so a 13 grade for Sherrill. Ibanez is -8, obviously, so that's 21. That converts to 27. That'll be a grounder to Chipper. He's going to throw to first in time, 1 out. Pete Orr could. Yeah, we'll keep Pete Orr in there. If we feel like they still have Linebrink warm, if they bring in Valdez, they just switch it back to him. So let's go with Orr. 16 is 28. That'll be a grounder to shortstop, Alex Gonzalez, and he throws out. Or 2 down, Brian Schneider, another lefty bat. That's a 0 roll. So whatever this is will be it. Only 2 homers in the season, so not many combos that'll get you that. But 44 is going to be a home run. Brian Schneider hits a deep one, and it is gone. How about that? 2-0 Phillies as Brian Schneider takes him to town. Let's see, Sherrill. Yeah, he doesn't have any of the special grades that would convert anything. So that's doubles the lead for Lee. And with nobody on and 2 outs, Lee will just go ahead and hit. That's a 10. Lee is going to have as 22, so that'll be a pop-up. Let's see. Ugla's a 7. Looks like that's a liner to Ugla to end the inning. They do get a run on the solo shot by Brian Schneider. Kind of came out of nowhere. And Cliff Lee will work on. They'll keep Linebrink ready. Sherrill will only go the 1 inning. All right, Freddie Freddie Freeman. 16. That's a strikeout. That's 5 strikeouts in a row for Lee. He is bearing down, and that's 10 for the contest right now. Joe Mather, one of the 2 guys who has gotten to Lee here. He doubled in the 3rd. 1 for 2. Another strikeout. Another 13. That's 12, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that 11? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's only 11. So, of course, McLeod is coming up here. Top of the 8th. 2 outs. 6 strikeouts in a row for Lee. 41 is going to be 28. That is going to be a grounder to short, and that'll be Rollins. J-roll. Never a doubt. That's going to be a 1-2-3 inning through 7.5. If Schneider, yeah, he's this guy that just kicked around the East. He was with Montreal. He was with the Mets. He was with the Phillies. Pretty sure he was with the Marlins at one point or another. So, kind of all over the dang place. You know what? I think what we're going to do is we'll have Madsen warming up. But I think we try and get Lee the complete game here. He's 26 batters. I think he could handle 3 more. And if anybody gets on, we just swap out for Madsen. And that's even a maybe. So top of the order, going to go to Scott Linebrink here. The righty. Sherrill with 1. He did give up the bomb. And I gotta put him up here. He has a grade of 9. Okay. Gonna face Jimmy Rollins, Shane Victorino, Placido Polanco. We're gonna get O'Flaherty kicking around in the bullpen here just in case they need to reach for him for Howard. 61-29. Let's see. Linebrink is a Y. That's an X. So that's going to be a grounder back to Linebrink. He makes the play to first for the out. Shane Victorino. 0 for 3. And he's going to be 0 for 4 with a fly ball out to Mather. 2 away. Polanco. That's a 0 roll. What do we got for Polanco here? 55 is a 1. That is another solo home run. Placido Polanco. 5 in the real Philly season. I don't know how many that is for him now, but it might only be his first. But that's going to make it 3-0. A rather round tripper. And that's going to give Charlie Manuel even more reason to maybe stick with Lee, just to get him the complete game. And they're going to sit O'Flaherty down at this point. Nobody's on. Him against Howard. 56, that'll be a strikeout, but more damage done here for the Phillies. Solo homer for Polanco, 3-0. As we hit the top of the ninth, excuse me. Madsen's gonna Madsen's mostly warm, but let's see, who are we going to pinch hit with? Lee is a lefty, so we're going to go with a righty bat. Guess we go with Brooks Conrad. Not a very good average there, but I don't know. Maybe it's better to go with a guy like Hayward, who, well, his average isn't much better. Hinsky has a little more power. Well, Hayward has. Hinsky has more power, but Conrad's got a 325 on base percentage, so he might be able to work a walk here. So he'll be your pinch hitter. Top of the ninth, 3-0 Phillies. Can Cliff Lee close out a complete game shutout? 66, that one is cranked, and it is gone. Pinch hit, solo home run, Brooks Conrad. That makes it 3-1. So no shutout. Well, all right. I think we're gonna get Madsen in here now. So after having that kind of rock the senses, manager comes out and takes the ball. Good outing for Cliff Lee, but unfortunately stained by a single solo home run. Madsen's a 15, almost as good of a grade. It's the same ratings. And actually, I guess this is the first. This is the middle of inning. We can go to 20 on the first batter. So Cliff Lee. What do you have? Three. Let's see. 1, 2. Wait, no, wrong side. That's only the third hit of the game, but it was a big one. 1 earned run. We said he had 11 strikeouts. No walks this time. So I guess the powers that be heard that I was unhappy, and the dice stayed away from walks for Lee. Either that or the Braves just don't walk a lot. All right, so we've made the change. It'll be Madsen trying to close this out now. Going to face Prado, Gonzalez, and Chipper Jones. All right. 3-1 Phillies. Martin Prado, 46. That will be a strikeout. X result, 1 down. Alex Gonzalez. I suppose we could pinch hit for a guy like Gonzalez with Hinsky. Gonzalez has as many home runs as Hinsky, so let's, although the rate's a little lower. Oh boy, that was almost 11. That's 12. That's going to be 25. That's another strikeout. 2 away. 1 out from the victory, and it'll be Chipper Jones. If he can get on, you have Brian McCann coming to the plate as the tying run. And the pitch, 35, is going to be, that's a 39, which will be off the rare play chart. First rare play chart, we're going to roll the randomization. 32 is 37. Roll again. 55 on 37 is a 5. Center fielder is Shane Victorino. He is a 3-rated center fielder. Want a low number, and it's 11. It's the lowest. That's going to be a fly ball. Center field, diving catch. Victorino grabs it and makes the play. It looked like it was going to snow cone, but it stays, and that is your ball game. Wow, what a final inning there. Whoops, the wrong column. They do get a hit on the leadoff solo homer from Brooks Cont, pinch hit solo homer, but can manage no more. And that is your final as the Phillies win 3-1. Cliff Lee is your victor. The loss goes to Derek Lowe. And Ryan Madsen is going to get another save. Let's see. 3 hits. Don't think we had any errors in this game for either team. 4 hits for the Phillies. Not much in way of offense, but a couple of solo shots for the Phils and 1 for the Braves made up a bunch of it. So, good evening, Dwayne. Hope you're doing well. And let's see. See what I can do with this. So you can see here I can kind of switch pitchers. Madsen, I could have put in, let's see, Bastardo. It'll switch the grades and it'll switch all these calculations as well. I have some feeder tables and stuff, so. Went black just for a minute. There we go. All right. I'm going to back up here a little bit because the farther away I am, the better I look, I think. 3-1 your final. Let's see. Oops. Let's do this. There we go. 3-1 the final. Phillies go to, what is it, 17 and 14, and the Braves are now 16 and 18. Yeah, so. I'm going to have my phone here. This is my, almost as quick as Guardians Brewers. I haven't seen any scores. I'm interested to see what happens with my fantasy team tonight. Hi Tim. Let's see. Let's get out to Brewers Guardians. 2-0. Hey Cleveland. Somehow we not a bad outing for Priester, eh? 5. I had him on my fantasy team a couple of years ago, and I gave up on him because he wasn't doing so hot. But now he's looking okay. Game time, what do we got? 2-11. Whew. Yeah, that's a quick one. All right, how is my fantasy team doing tonight? I'm leading my opponent, but not in total, but in the today's. Let's see, what are my pitchers doing? Waiting for Landon Knack to get a start for the Dodgers. Balazzo for Miami. So this is using a method, a scoring method called ought-know, which I think is named after a player that may have had, I think, some rarity player that maybe had a game played in no at bats or something like that. Anyway, yeah. Josh Young is finally starting to show up for the Rangers now. He hit a homer tonight. He's my fantasy team is called Young the Ranger, and it's kind of a weird name because it's based off of this indie rock band named Young the Giant. And I thought, well, if Young ever was traded to San Francisco, he could be Young the Giant, but now he's Young the Ranger. So anyway, kind of corny. I'm still lacking a good second baseman. Of course, there really aren't that many great second basemen. I'd love to get my hands on Stott. But anyway, yeah, so, I forgot to. I took off my. Well, there you go. With Tim gave me the ins and outs of that, so I should have just looked and waited for the chat. But yeah, I thought this. I was like, man, this. Well, with Cliff Lee, I figured it probably would be a reasonable game as far as time goes, but sometimes these games, it's like if you're getting 8s and 9s, yeah, they can get cut down by those the pitcher's grades. But if you're getting the 11 and 66 rolls quite a bit, then you're starting to run up the scores, especially if they're walking some and you get guys on base and you get like 2-3 run homers. Then you're digging into your bullpen and then you're just adding to the time. But not that I really care, have all the time in the world. Well, I still have a job, so I can't stay up past probably 11 o'clock. Some nights it's even 10 o'clock. So what is going on? Not much. Over here we have my orange amplifier. That's fun. I have a Bills, there you go, Bills flag. I have another amp right back behind the orange amp. Don't know if anybody's into guitar, but yeah, I took the room out of commission a little bit there. It's now a junk hole at the moment. I really need to go through and kind of like do a little bit of spring cleaning. It's almost not spring anymore, so turn off this heater. Feels nice and roasty down here now. I used to be so like hot-blooded. I would love it to just be chilly in places. Now maybe I would love to move to Florida or Texas or somewhere in the South, because I'm less and less the kind that is fond of being on the chilly side. And of course I'm wearing some like sports shorts, like, the little, I don't know, what polyester with holes in them like you wear to a workout, and this t-shirt. Yeah, so just a second here. See if I can clean this up a little bit. I don't know. I think it's worse. It's tough because I have this window open and I can't really see behind it. Okay, well, let's check this. There's a sweet spot. No. Could be worse. Could be better. You guys don't really want to look at me anyway. Yeah, I've been on a little bit of a baseball kick here. Obviously, it's baseball season. That kind of adds to it. I keep thinking to myself, the name of this channel originally was, and the name of my email address is tenaciousstrat@gmail.com. So if you ever wanted to email, you can email me that way. Some days I get back to people more quickly than others. But Strat because of Stratomatic. I haven't played Stratomatic baseball in maybe 5 years. It's probably that long. I should really go back and look, but probably pre-lockdown, I'm guessing. Got into some History Maker, then got into APBA here, and I've been playing around with APBA more. than I have anything else. I own payoff pitch. I own inside pitch. I've used neither of them. Call me crazy. I feel like it's just kind of like what we do when we are involved in these like channels, and we have big grand plans to play games and unbox games, and it's sort of, I don't know. I don't want to say it's futile because I have them here. I'll get to play them at some point, but I think those who've watched this channel a good bit know that I'm more of a fan of longer projects that will challenge completion. It also challenges steadfastness and being willing to hold stamina. Maybe that's a better term for it. Because it lends itself to having like a 3 or 4 game stretch of the baseball, then a couple of game stretch of football, golf tournament, back to baseball, maybe throw some soccer in there, and it kind of like moves. I was using a Google sheet to plan things out for a while, and it's kind of gotten to the point now where the more that I like earmark or set aside time or try and plan, I want to get this much done, I don't get half of it done. So I've just kind of gone to the idea that I'm going to play when I have time, when the missus seems to be relatively content with me heading down to the basement for a while and probably not seeing me for the rest of the night. I've also been playing a lot of guitar, and that takes some time. Hey, Ken. Actually, I got this one a couple months ago. Little, let's see, which way do I need to go? Paul Reed Smith guitar. It's pretty nice. I haven't played that song. Life in the Fast Lane, anyway. I haven't played that song in a long time. Sometimes that's what it feels like, is life in the fast lane, So Ken, I've seen you somewhere around here in the last couple of weeks since I've been posting videos. Hope you're doing well. Kind of keep in touch with Larry a decent amount. Larry is sort of a kindred spirit when it came to the pro national golf sets. He was kind of keeping right up with me, maybe even going a little ahead of me, and he one of the more prolific designers of custom courses that you'll see. There's a few of them in the community, but he's there's Gideon and there's a couple others who made a lot, but Larry made quite a few, including a few of the ones that I used when I was doing sort of a Corn Ferry style tour. And Tim and Dwayne, Tim especially was popping in here for Mark Russell. A couple of you guys really popped in here early on, and when I was binging Strat and doing that first league with teams like Milwaukee and St. Louis, and I'm pretty sure I ticked some people off because I think I talked bad about some of the teams like St. Louis, the Cardinals and stuff. The camera just, I don't know, I can never get good light on my face, and my face always looks like it's blotchy because I have rosacea and stuff, but But I over the years, I guess I've just I need to start, I guess, making amends with people that are fans of teams that I would typically talk smack about. nothing against, nothing really against any of those teams. I guess as a baseball fan, mostly, you know, Phillies fan for the last now 25 years. I was a Yankees fan growing up, which is kind of weird, that transition. But I moved to an area where the Phillies were big, and I kind of like fell out from baseball because went to college, strike. Then I kind of like, anytime I wanted to get back interested in baseball, then the Yankees had become this like dynasty, mid 90s, mid to late, and it kind of felt like cheap. Like I didn't really, I rooted for them for a bunch of years where they were sort of like just not good enough. And I'm sure Ken would hate to hear that because I'm pretty sure he's a Red Sox fan if he's not already. But I'm going to put this right in my little dice box there. So, just with the I guess as a Phillies fan, I picked up the whole, they're a bunch of smack talkers. almost used an expletive there. So, apologies to fans of teams like the Yankees and the Cardinals and any of the other teams that I've probably Mets and Braves. I mean, most of us root for teams, and hey, just need to. That's right, Ken. You are a Phillies fan. I should have known that. I guess it's because from you're up from near Boston. I was thinking that but I do remember that we've talked about that before. It's just been so long. I mean, I know you've been a big soccer fan as well. It's just the years go by and this thing goes by somewhat too. So, yeah. What else? I don't really have any grand plans for anything new or better or good or wonderful or I'll play games. Maybe I'll get some other stuff out here at some point. Obviously, the golf is something that is still coursing around. Actually, I'm playing golf this weekend, like in real life. I'm going to play 3 rounds. Actually, it's going to be like a scramble event thing with a bunch of friends. So, got that going on. So there won't be anything like this weekend. Maybe tomorrow I'll 65 and 23. That's quite a diverse 2 Phil's replays. I'd love to go back and get one of the years that had like Dick Allen and some of the other, Ashburn. I really should use these games as a chance to get to know the teams of old. And I think Jerry Mora had sent me a number of old sets a while ago that were mostly like basic cards. They're kind of older cards, which is great. I mean, even basic strat play is pretty decent. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to see what's on the Strat website sometime and see if I can get something in one of those years where. I mean, I have like payoff pitch. I think I have 83, which would be kind of a cool year. I'd get those. That's the year they lost, I think, to the Orioles. So, and that was back when I remember I had aunts and uncles that lived in Rochester, New York, and at that point the Red Wings were the Orioles farm team. I'm pretty sure Altabelli was the Red Wings manager at some point, and I think they had Boddicker there, maybe a couple of the other starters from that '83 season that they got a chance to see there in Rochester. So, um, that would be interesting. And again, I have that set right there. It's still in the bubble wrap or whatever plastic covering all the cards for payoff pitch. So, yeah, I hate the idea of like mixing up game engines, and I did it a little bit with Strat and History Maker, but those engines are quite different. I feel like some of these other ones, they get kind of similar, and there's little nuances that I'd hate to like flub up, but maybe not. I don't know. I mean, I remember Tabletop Earl. He would have and demos. I mean, has 2 or 3 different game engines kind of swirling around their tabletops without much consternation or worry about. Maybe they do worry. I don't know. I've never asked them. Maybe I should ask them sometime if they worry about ever making like rookie mistakes, trying to keep track of this or that. I will say I am missing the way that the Strat cards are just very like, you just rip them and go. And I mean, sure, there's the X results, and you still have to check those. But I've gotten, obviously you kind of get used to. Like I'm pretty used to the APBA now, and it's fun. Like there was the game there or two where you just get the walks, and it kind of like when you think of Doc Holliday, just don't think about walks too much. But maybe if this goes for me in a positive way, if I can kind of keep myself moving in the right direction psychologically with this, maybe down the road I'll look at trying to get a 2010 set, because that's another good season. That's the year they lost to the Yankees. No, not 2010. 2009. They went back-to-back years. And then 2010. So 2011 is the one they lost in the divisional to St. Louis that ended with Ryan Howard tearing his Achilles running down the first base path. Pretty sure. 2010. Giants? It's probably the Giants. They lost in the championship series, probably. Now I've got to look it up. That's my guess. It's been a while. Philadelphia Phillies. Come on, you slow internet. What have you done for me lately? Let's turn off the Wi-Fi. Maybe it'll go easier that way. Alright, let's try it again. Maybe it's just being really, 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 really slow. Someone's probably already answered me. Alright, let's see. Lost NLCS 4-2. Because I think the Giants were the even numbered years, right? Yeah. Yeah, the Giants won probably 2010, 2012, 2014 in the Mad Bum years, and Lincecum. All right, let me get my video back up here so I see if I have any extra comments here. No, things have kind of died down here comment-wise, but just here to say that, I'll I don't expect to have too many big long gaps in. It might be a week. I don't know. Maybe I'll put together a video to just as a recorded release to have pop up over the weekend. We'll see how things go. I kind of have to get ready for this short trip. But long story short, I'm hoping that I don't have several months of gap between videos coming up here. I keep kind of hoping that maybe there'll be a point where Earl, my namesake, gets his itching. I mean, I assume he still plays a lot, but I think maybe it's easy for guys like me and probably him to sit there and say, well, there's so many people playing board games now. It's like, what's another person, especially if you've got, I don't know, he probably likes spending time with his family. I think he likes vacationing and stuff, and he's retired and all that. So, for me, if I was retired, I'd be golfing a lot. I'd probably find more time for this. But I would I would. It just, it's funny how these things go. You can just go for 2, 3, 4 days playing, and then you just kind of hit a wall, and you're like, okay, I need to take a break. I just need a break. I need to refresh. And that's where, juggling the games can be good. Getting different sports. But I don't know. There are some games as well, sports games. Second season. With the, not to get too much longer here because I wouldn't like to wrap this up, but the second season, what I find I'm using the fictional season, 12 teams. There's 2 teams where they just seem to have no chance. And you get into a quarter, and one of those teams is down like 17-0 already, and playing the rest of that game can just be pretty difficult. You're just sort of like meandering in between punts and interceptions and fumbles and stalled out drives, and how do I run this offense? Do I set them to be like completely like pass happy, or am I just gonna like try and run out the game, trying to like shorten the game, because obviously this team is gonna lose like 35-0 or something like that. So that's one of the things that the golf sometimes, you get a couple holes in and you're like, oh boy, I got something else going on. I need to put this down, and you just have to have strategies, and you can't, like, I've long since stopped feeling afraid of what's going to happen mentally if I say to myself, you know what, I need to put this down for a little bit. I'm going to let it sit here, even if it's a couple days. I gotta just, I'm not feeling it anymore. So, and it'll come back. It does come back. Just sometimes you need some space. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. This was a fun little, relatively quick contest. Lee, 11 strikeouts. It's a very nice performance for him. Probably do game 32 here in the next, well, it would have to be before Thursday. So, but I'll try and do a recording and patch it all together and upload it for you guys. So Ken, I saw you said the Giants. That's cool. No, it's funny that the 2008 season was so great. Not to mention, we were pregnant with my son that year, so that year is like such a high. And then those next years they probably had better teams and just couldn't. It's baseball, you know. When do you get hot? They had the pitching those other years. They probably had better pitching those other years, and they didn't have the horses against the Yankees, and then the Giants. They built a juggernaut. They had good pitching, solid hitting, Posey, Panda, all those guys. Just it's the way it goes. If you don't evolve as a team in this era, you're just going to regress to the mean or lower. It's just so tough to keep up. And look at the Braves right now. And they've, what have they done? I mean, they've continued to build their pitching. But, you lose Freeman. Now, he's getting towards the end of his career, but still, it's like they replace him with Olsen. Olsen's pretty good, but it's like Acuna's been hurt. Ozuna is as much of a terrible human he is. He's still hitting for some power, but and you got Albies. But, once they let Swanson go, it's like I think they haven't had much to backfill there. Austin Riley's been good, but it's just so tough to keep up. The Mets retooled and they're looking pretty decent. So it's if you're looking to cheap out, it's not easy in baseball. And it's kind of where the Phillies have been. They haven't added. They've sort of stayed neutral. And it's they're doing fine. You get into the playoffs, maybe they'll make a move at the deadline. So, all right, well, see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. If you haven't hit the like, I would appreciate it. I don't go begging for a lot of likes, subscribes, or anything like that. But just if you like this, if you want more content out there, helps keep my psyche on the right side of things. Although it doesn't, whatever. I mean, it's all fine, but. And there's lots of other channels that put these games out there rolling on the tabletop. So, actually, a couple of them right here with the Cleveland baseball fan 879, Dwayne Martz, and well, he wasn't here tonight. Maybe sometimes he lurks. Baseball demos is another good one. And anyway, all right, hang in there, guys. I'm gonna close out my window there, and I'm gonna shut this down, and I'm gonna go off and enjoy the rest of my evening. And I hope you all do too. Until next time, just keep rolling, keep having fun on your tabletop, and we'll see you back here soon on Tenacious Sports.